I'm Scott Vanderplu, and you're listening to the AE Index Podcast, episode 105.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair.
Thank you for joining me once more as we head into Labor Day and the new school year, where we discuss all things AE that occurred at the aeindex.org over the past month. And a lot of reviews this month, not a lot of news or other happenstances occurring. I should start with an exciting event, which is a giveaway. Thanks to Scott Dunbier and Act 4 Publishing, Scott is giving away 20 Act 4 poker chips. So it's got the Act 4 logo. It's a large item. It's a Act 4 logo on one side and J. Scott Campbell's depiction of Scott on the other side. And to enter the contest, you need to subscribe to my newsletter and subscribe to the emails on the Act 4 Publishing website. So if at the bottom of every page of my site and the Act 4 Publishing site, there is a newsletter sign up. Just go to those, sign up, and Friday, September 5th, I will choose the 20 people and I will email people out and ask for their addresses. And if somebody doesn't want it, that's okay. They can just decline. But Scott is generously mailing them to worldwide. So everybody is open and it's available to everyone. So please sign up for those 2 newsletters if you'd like one of these chips. Let's talk AE Index poll this month. So the poll this month was, that's one on here. Ooh, all right. That didn't go well. With the success of DC's work in progress line, what other single or double issue of DC classic stories should get the work in progress treatment? All right. And the big winner was Batman Adventures Mad Love by Bruce Timm doing the art. That was the runaway winner. After that, it was Superman Annual number 11 for the Man Who Has Everything. That was drawn by Dave Gibbons. Then we have Superman 423, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, drawn by Curt Swan. Then we have Superman 9, To Laugh and Die in Metropolis by John Byrne. And then finally we have Justice League number 1, Born Again, Kevin Maguire. So those are the votes this month. And that poll was provided by a good friend of the site, David Jacoy, who faithfully provides the poll every month. I'm so thankful that he provides that. So thanks again to that. And hopefully you voted. If not, you can still continue to vote. The voting stays open forever. And we'll have a new poll up about the 16th of the month. So watch for that coming up. All right. Solicitations ran really light this month. I actually missed this completely. It's funny because we're back to consolidations of catalogs or consolidations of websites. Let me be more specific to that. So if you go to purehcomics.com, you can get the IDW catalog, the Marvel catalog, the Penguin Randomist catalog, the Dark Horse catalog. And if you go to lunardistribution.com, you can get the Image catalog, the DC catalog, their Lunar catalog that has everybody in it, Rebellion, and then the Titan catalog. So there's, you hit the 2 sites, but unfortunately it's still a lot of browsing and looking. It's not like the old days with Diamond where you could just go and pick a category and see everything that's solicited. So that's still missed, but at least we still got catalogs and opportunities here. So this is one solicitation of an AE format book this month. And that was previously announced on their website, Rebellion's website, or 2080 website, I guess. And that is Judge Dredd by Carlos Ezquerra, Apex Edition. Scanned directly from Carlos Ezquerra's original art and presented oversized. Carlos Ezquerra is the artistic creator of Judge Dredd, and this book presents his finest work on that character. It includes 7 complete stories. Carlos Ezquerra was one of 2080's great pioneers. He co-created Judge Dredd, cemented the look of one of the most enduring characters in the history of comics. This collection presents his work to the reader in its true size, newly scanned the original artwork, showcasing the work of a master in all its glory. This Apex volume contains 7 complete stories in color, so that's the 7 stories. Behold the Beast, The Big Itch, It's Happening on Line 9, The Other Slab Tynan, The Big Bang Theory, Tarantula, and John Brown's Body. From the Judge Dredd annuals published in the 1980s, where Ezquerra was at the peak of his powers, and more Judge Dredd classics, as well as several of his early Strontium Dog pages. So this is solicited for November 26th, 2025. It's 14.5 by 19 inches, I believe, 128 pages. It's $140 US, so it's a little bit higher than what was initially advertised on the 2000 AD website. There is a slipcased edition available for $175.99, but that is only available from the 2000 AD website. So I've got a link to that if you want to go to that. Otherwise, get it from your favorite comic supplier. I'm not thrilled that it's painted, colored pages. I don't find painted pages present as well as, inked pages. But we'll have to hold it in our hand and see and judge at that point there. All right. So we had, I don't know, maybe we should talk shipping changes before that. Let's talk shipping changes. I made some corrections on the shipping. All right. So Jim Apparo's DC Classics Artist Edition has slipped. There was an issue. No need to mention what it was. The date slipped, and it went to November 12th. Spawn Vault Edition Volume 3 went to January 7th. Youngblood Vault Edition went to February 10th. Wally Wood's Easy Stories Direct Market is February 2nd. Mike Mignola's Hellboy and Hell Artist Edition Volume 2 is March 25th Direct Market. So it's a week or two after those dates that it hits the book market. So that's just the way that Image is doing it. So because Act 4 Publishing is in partnership with Skybound, who is distributed by Image, that's the schedule. All right, those are the big changes. Let's talk new releases then. We had one new release this month, and that was DC Covers Artist Edition Volume 1. I did review that. It's on the site, so we'll talk about that in the review. I should also mention, right, we did get that solicitation last month, I think it was, for DC Covers Artist Edition Volume 2. Let me just scroll and find that, if I can find that. And that was going to present another 120 pages or so. I forget. Let's have a look here. That was July 29th. So we talked about this last month. So that was going to be another 128-page hardcover. So that has been removed from the solicitations. Word on the street is that low sales from Volume 1 have put a hold on Volume 2. So we'll have to wait and see how that rolls. But for now, Volume 1 is, and no Volume 2 currently solicited. All right. As I've talked about previously, I did not do a eBay sales. I'm just going to do it maybe every 3 months. So I think I'm going to do one in September. We'll see what the back-to-school market bears. I've personal experience from eBay. Summer was lousy with sales, so I guess we didn't lose out or anything there by not posting those. But I think quarterly. I'm almost at the point now where I'm putting every artist edition or every AE format book on that eBay sales chart. So it feels like a lot of work every month, and it doesn't change enough. The only thing I'm not sure about is when I put up now for September, and am I going to put the quarterly sales, or do I just stick with the sales from August? I may move to quarterly. I think that's probably the way to go. Then at least we'll see a better number, and we'll go from that. All right. So 4 reviews this month, getting right into it. And I'm sorry, I have no special topic this month. The summer's come and gone. I've ordered books, and we got books stacked up. Releases have been a bit slower. We had, thankfully, we had the DC Covers. That's basically for the summer, right? And now the next book is, we've got 2 books in November. And then that's it for the year. I can't believe it's September 1st and I'm already talking about wrapping up the year with AE format books. Yeah, no real special topic. As I said, sales are slow. I can't remember the last time I sold anything off my website. I'm prepping to go to Baltimore still in October. I'm still hoping to get some passes, free passes if I can. The Diamond used to give retailers free passes to Baltimore, but since Diamond is basically no more, they have not advertised free passes, so I've got my fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'll probably end up going to Baltimore and maybe just attend the Friday, and then I was going to go to Washington on the Saturday to the Smithsonian's, but there seems to be all that trouble. It's not a political podcast, so won't get into that, but there seems to be, I don't think the National Guard will still be in Washington when I go in October. So we'll see how that goes. And what exhibits the Smithsonian will still be exhibiting. Yeah. It's crazy how things have moved on. I've been debating whether I should be putting a post up, maybe one post a month, about just what came in that month. Sorry, my nose is running. Allergies have started already. Allergy season has begun. I get books in, and I say I'm a lot as well. I put them aside. I think, I'm going to get to this. I mean, I was looking at my pile of books that from my trip to France in May. It's September now. I haven't reviewed a single one of them. Now, I realize, some of them are still available in print. Some are not. But is that the criteria? I think in July I got a couple new books. I got the Den book. I got the new Artiste Décision from Dupuis. I got something else. And I just finally got around to reviewing one of those. Things come in. I'm trying to keep to a, 4 reviews a month. 3 is probably more practical. 4 is the schedule I try and keep. I think last month I only got to 2. So I guess I'm averaging out. And I still keep debating, do I do video reviews? Do I do video reviews? Do I call it a review? Do I do a video on, I was thinking about, just calling the reviews fit and finish. Because really, I don't review the contents. I review the scan, the design, So that's fit and finish. Maybe I'll do, I don't know. I'm just waffling on this for over a year. In the echo chamber of myself on a podcast, speaking to myself. I guess if I want to get it done, I got to do it. So maybe I'll try one. I've got my whole home rig set up. So I've got the overhead. I've got the lights, the light boxes, the box lights. I don't know what they are. They're the large soft boxes. So I've got those set up. I got a table. I'm in front of the window now. Got my camera arm. The only thing I'm not sure about is the microphone. If I'm standing and doing the review, I'm actually be looking down at the camera and the book on the table. So maybe my voice speaking at the phone with a short distance will be enough, or do I have to get some sort of microphone? I don't know. We will see. Anyways, 4 reviews this month. First review, Black and White Stories, Ors Serie 1, Klaus Janson. So this is a book that came out last year, and it's a black and white stories. It's a magazine format, but it's much larger than that. It's 240 pages. It's a soft cover. It's perfect bound, so it's more like a trade paperback. They're treating it as a magazine. Let me read the blurb. First special issue of our magazine. It is dedicated to the immense Klaus Janson following the Lyon Exposition, dedicated to him from November 22nd to 24th, 2024. Bilingual edition, English-French language. In this issue, a long and fascinating shop talk between Phil Cordier and Klaus Janson, produced in New York at the author's home. Reproductions of original plates. Tributes from various personalities from the world of comics. Comments from the author on his plates. A collector's booklet including 16 unpublished pages of sketches accompany this issue. I did not review that. It was an extra, and I thought I just want to deal with this review. I realize it comes with it. Maybe I'll get back to it and do something else, but it's not in this review. Soft cover, matte lamination, printed on elegant offset paper with a stitched binding and glued square spine. So perfect bound. Order safely. It is sent in a reinforced cardboard packaging. I like that. Edition Black and White, December 2024. It's 20 by 28 centimeters or 7 1/8 by 11 inches, 240 pages. Soft cover. It's €35. It's available online at Edition Black and White, or if you're in North America, you can order from Stuart Ing Books. And right now, Stuart Ing Books has 95% of their inventory at 20% off. So sometimes Stuart Ing can be a little bit pricey. I think he's got a lot of rare things and prices that accordingly. 20% off. You may want to hit up some French books. The sale goes until today, so if you're listening to the podcast, hopefully you've signed up for Stuart Ing's email. It's great. I love to get the newsletter every week just to see what's what. All right, this book, so great. First off, English and French, which is awesome, and then an interview with Klaus, really informative, good interview, and lots of original art. I mean, just a lot of art, and then most of it's full to this page. It's not full size, so this goes in the AE adjacent category. But then just other stuff, right? So just neat things like a pencil or an inked layout of a splash page, and then the inks and color and the printed color. And because this is Klaus Janson, we actually, if you're a Miller fan as well, you get to see a lot of Miller work. You see a lot of great inks, of course, from Jansen and his original pages, and then just other people he's inked, right? So it's a really good book. I've not always been a fan of Jansen pencils and inks. I like his inks. I mean, I like Miller, and I like Jansen's inks on Miller. I like Jansen finishing Miller. There's that combination that was just so magical that it's just hard to picture anything else. You don't have to look far. Look at Wolverine miniseries where you've got Rubinstein inking Miller, and it's just completely different. And just doesn't have it doesn't have that same weight that Jansen does. It's just an amazing, talented inker. And it goes through his processes, and it just talks a lot of great stuff. There's testimonials in the book, right? I don't really care for testimonials. If it's talking about his processes or, shop talk, really, right? That's really what I'm interested in. But if it's just, what I just did. Oh, I love Miller. He's great. But even better with when Jansen inks him. It's nice, but I don't need to read that in a book. I mean, everybody's got those opinions. I'm looking for an insight into the creative process. And actually, what's beautiful about this book is Jansen provides his own insights to his own art. So it's really great. I mean, if I'm nitpicking, a lot of times the French wraps up on the page, but for some reason, like the sentence will finish on that page. But in English, sometimes the sentence carries over to the next page. So you got to sort of follow. And then you may be flipping a couple pages. So the layout isn't perfect for English, but the fact that you're getting this dual language is amazing. Great book. And so cheap. Like I understand shipping, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Let's look at what it is right now on Stewarding. €35 shipped, unfortunately, adds up to quite a bit. It's on Stewarding's site. He's got it for $63. And as I said, that's in Canadian. Hold on. Let's go to US. Ugh. He's got one of those sites that adjusts the currency for you, which I actually don't like. Okay. So it's $45 US. Oh my goodness. Come on. I'm going to add it to the cart. I'm going to the cart. Oh, it's only $36 because of the Labor Day sale. Come on. Just go and order that. That is crazy cheap. All right. Next, this is Undertaker Tomb 7, or I forget what 7 is in French. Sorry. Mr. Prairie Carnet de Storyboards. So Carnet is notebook to storyboard. So a facsimile reproduction of the storyboard notebook for the 7th volume in the series. This book benefits from a limited edition of 2,350 copies. All right, this is released by Dargaud in September 29th of 2023. I probably had it a year or more. It's 6 1/4 by 8.5 inches, just like just a classic notebook size. 64 pages. It's a hardcover. It's €21.50, and it is great. So it is Ralph Meyer doing breakdowns for the entire 7th album of Undertaker, Mr. Prairie. I don't know why Ralph Meyer doesn't have an A format book, or many. The guy is amazingly talented. His art is gorgeous. I love the Undertaker series. I was reading it translated by Europe Comics, and it's just gorgeous. This book is amazing. So there's a belly band. We can take the belly band off. It's just a classic black notebook. So well done to the design team. I really like that. And then we just got, so he's used like a blue or purple pencil, and then he's done inks. I don't know if this feels like ballpoint pen or some sort of ballpointish pen doing black inks. It's very nice. He's done the roughs layouts are great. There's actually quite a bit of detail. He's put in word balloons even, and you can go through the book and really get the feel and the flavor of what he was doing. As I said, I'd love to see this in a artist edition or an A format size. It's numbered, as I said. It's in pencil. My number is 544 of 2350. It's at the back of the book. This is just an amazing little notebook that really benefits from this kind of process. I mean, I'm sure a lot of artists have these sort of notebooks where they lay things out and to put it together and offer for sale. Well done, Dargaud. Well done to the Franco-Belgian market, who thinks of things like this, right? Like I've done other ones like this where it's the pencils, or they just the market really, takes advantage of this. There's currently an offer from Dargaud. I haven't been able to find a retailer though. That they have a new volume of Blake and Mortimer coming out, and if you buy 2 Blake and Mortimer albums, you get this album for free, and it's the pencils to the whole next album. It's like, how do I get that? So I've been trying to track that down. That was just, it went out on social media, and all I see are posts from people saying what retailers are participating in this. So it may be an opportunity, but it doesn't seem to be well advertised. Actually, I mean, I'd buy the 2 albums. Somebody could keep the albums. I just want the hardcover of the pencils. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, Review 3, DC Covers Artist Edition Volume 1, featuring some of the most famous and popular cover artists and iconic characters to ever appear in DC Comics. More than 120 classic covers from DC Comics. As an artist edition, this book publishes scans of original art. I'm not going to give you the word. We know what it is. It's great that they do that. There's a grammatical error in there listing, but that's okay. Artists included are Brian Boland, John Byrne, Nick Cardy, Alan Davis, Steve Ditko, Dick Giordano, Mike Grell, Mike Kaluta, Gil Kane, Joe Kubert, Jim Lee, Mike Mignola, Frank Miller, Walter Simonson, Alan Weiss, Wally Wood, and more. This was released on August 26th, so last Tuesday. I got it the week before and got my review up before the publication date. So that was nice. The store got a copy for somebody that I opened up and reviewed. So they don't mind. All right. This is 12 by 17, 120 pages. It's 150 US. Available from Amazon. And if you're in Europe, order from Old Comic Shop. They're great. Table of all right. This book, Table of Contents, was released months ago. So it was nice to see that. We got to see things. And then getting into it, it's a real wonderful spread of possible covers from DC. It's moving from when, this size became popular, I think, 70s, late 60s, early 70s, up until now, right? Before that, it was the Twice Up art boards. So it really moves around. Like Joe Kubert stuff, Steve Ditko, Lou Fine, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Bob Oxner, Mike Sikowski. It was great to see those. Then we got, we go swing all the way. We got Wally Wood and Rich Butler. It's good. Buckler. Got some great Bernie Wrightson covers. Got Nick Cardy all over the place in this one. A lot of great Nick Cardy. Dave Cockrum, Batman. Some John Cassidy, Batman's gorgeous. An unpublished Frank Miller for Batman The Dark Knight Returns. I think it's for the trade that was never used. It's nice to see you. It doesn't take much to look at it and realize why it wasn't used. But Mike Grell, Gene Ha, Russ Heath, Adam Hughes, Carmine Infantino, Mike Kaluta, Bill Sienkiewicz is in here. I mean, Frank Whiteley has a gorgeous cover. There's just so much material in here. Really nice. It goes alphabetically. So I did really enjoy the John Byrne Superman stuff. Just gorgeous. The John Byrne Generation stuff, you can really see the difference between the artist's work over, because there's a couple of decades separate that Superman and Batman Generations versus the Action Comics and the Superman stuff he was doing in the 80s. But, the Boland stuff. I mean, there's just so many great things in this book. And you flip, and I'm not a fan of just covers. I like to read things. But because we haven't had this treatment of a lot of DC stuff, it's great to see it like this. Took special interest in this book because nobody from the previous Artist Edition team was involved with this. That's not true. Nicholas Nino, as assistant editor, also assistant editor on this. But this time around, we had Alonzo Simon as the editor. We had Nathan Wittick as the designer. So just real changes to what we'd previously seen here. A different cover layout. Very clever. Blues and gold background. For blue and gold really took over this volume. I love the way it rolled out. The gold is interesting look. The art choices for the enlargements, so for like the colophon is really great. Table of contents. I mean, Jim Ballant. Jim Ballant's not somebody I would pursue anything for, but these are iconic covers he's got here. So, and then the design. Really, I enjoyed it. it's it's nice to see a fresh take on something, and this is exactly what we got. We got a fresh take, working with the framework of previous artist editions they had. We have this. It's also interesting. There's some interesting things here. Right, in the colophon it says, Artist Edition is a trademark of Act 4 Publishing, Inc., used under license. So Act 4 Publishing and Scott Nimbier have the trademark for Artist Edition. So IDW is licensed that. And then I love it. It says more than 120 covers. There are 121 covers in this book. This is the thinnest Artist Edition from IDW we've ever had. So it feels like they could have done a little bit more with this. It really does. We had the Volume 2 announced. I don't know how many editions they were planning on, but maybe padding this out a little bit, giving us the 144 pages we're used to in an Artist Edition. That would have been great. Another 20 covers really would have been appreciated. Make it feel more, for the value, as you can say. But it's a solid undertaking and a really great treatment of DC covers. And then we get to, what takes the shine away from this for me. And that's, unfortunately, when you have every book, and it's hard not to compare, right? It's compare and contrast, right? I looked at the table of contents when it was released a while ago, and people said, oh, wow, there's a lot of these I've seen in other books. And then I thought, wait a second, I'll compile a list. So I provided a list. 31 of these covers have previously appeared in different artist editions. So when I thought, 121 covers, now it's like, 90 covers we hadn't seen before, and 31 we previously seen. Now I understand people don't own every artist edition like I do. I do. There's a couple guys in the forums I think that own. I know at least one guy owns all of them. But most people have, people can get a lot. They can get a few. This may be the only one they have. So it's not a concern for them. But I mean, a lot of these appeared in Best of DC War. We just got Best of DC War in December. So that was that was a new printing, like an updated printing, a Best of War. So we've had 2 different printings of Best of War. Now we've got a bunch of covers appearing in this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of these are from Best of War. We got a bunch from the Jim Lee DC Legends. 1, 2, 3, 5. There's a lot from the Bernie Wright's Artifact Edition. There's a lot from America's Best Comics. Then we got Jack Kirby Kamandi, Mr. Miracle, New Gods. So I was really disappointed with that. You just, you buy something like this and you're looking, you want to be excited. And I understand they have covers. They have scans. They have things available. Covers have appeared in every artist edition, right? So maybe 5, 6, maybe 10. And there's been a lot of artist editions, right? 70 something. So that's, it's a lot of covers maybe that they have sitting around, but what was the 26% of the book was from stuff they'd previously published. So that felt a little disappointing. Otherwise though, great book. And then we'll have to wait and see, maybe now with this being released, maybe with my review. So far, I'm still the only review online. I keep looking. I'm sure IDW is sending out comp copies to some people, like near mint condition. I'm waiting for my comp copy. So there are some out there, and then we'll see some reviews. So hopefully that gets the ball rolling on these and does something good with this. All right, last review of the month. And that was Den 3, Les Enfants de Feu, Edition Brute. And that is a Brute edition, limited edition, printed to a maximum of 550 copies, numbered in a large 28 by 37.5 centimeter format, and protected by a superb matte laminated box with selected varnish, so slipcase. With these editions, the complete sets of bookmarks and postcards unlocked during the campaign will be included. I didn't include those in the review because who cares? The Brute edition of Den, Children of Fire, will feature the full story, comprised of 76 art plates. Also, almost all the original pages have been found. Just one is missing. Thanks in particular to the Corbin family and the many collectors who sent scans of the pieces in their possession. This also concerns the original covers, which is great to see all the covers in this one. This edition presents the complete story, Den, Children of Fire, Book 3 of Richard Corbin's Cult Saga, in addition reproducing all the rediscovered original art plates and lettered in French. Large format, 170 gram offset paper, matte cardboard cover with selective varnish, unlockable hardbound box. So that's in that. The slipcase was a crowdfunding feature that if you reach a certain level, it was included. Matte lamination selective varnish. Numbered edition from 1 to 550 max. Delivered in protective cardboard box. So it comes in the classic cardboard box. It was released in June. Got mine, just sat here. It's 96 pages in a slipcase hardcover. Gorgeous. 140 euros the campaign was. I think the shipping was a little bit high though. I think shipping was 35 maybe. I've always been part of eBay, and I've got eBay affiliate links, but I have not been taking advantage of the eBay France affiliate links. So I finally got myself over to eBay France and found a lot of these books, including this book. It's kind of pricey, but you can get these off eBay. People are selling them. So I like these books from Delirium. They established a design and they stuck with it. So this is the third volume. Delirium said in the campaign this will be the last Den book that they do. I mean, there's other Corben books in the Richard Corben library that Jose Villarruba has scanned and corrected. And that means the scans are out there. So maybe we'll see more. I also just continue to wonder why nobody in the American market has done any of these yet. Anyway, book's amazing. We get an introduction by Matt Kint. I do like Matt's introduction. He doesn't just talk about, oh, I like Richard Corben. Oh, he was such an influence on me. Gets into it a bit, which I enjoyed. And then we get the story. Corben moved around. I think previously, we'd seen the inks, we'd seen the wash, we'd seen painted. We'd really seen a nice, rich art on the page. Before he even got the colors. And this time around, we get the wash. But then we also get pages that are just penciled and inked. So rich inks, to be sure. But it looks like he was, I don't know, I think he was already planning then for color at this point. So I felt these pages, this story wasn't as magical as the previous two, only in that all that wash is gorgeous. Now, as I said, we get wash pages. We get pages that look just like the previous two Den volumes. And they are amazing. But then we get to this Children of Fire, page 45, and he goes right to a very much just penciled and inked pages, and it's not quite the same. And then we move from that on page 56. We move to fully painted, so it's a bit jarring. And as always, painted pages just don't come across as well in this format as penciled inked, wash, that kind of thing. Another gorgeous book, another crowdfunded book. This is actually one of the reasons, and the covers are so awesome. One of the reasons I sat on this, I'm like, can anybody really? I get a book, you can't order it, you can't buy it. What's the point of me reviewing it? But that's not fair to the market. People may have been wondering. They may have thought, I was going to get that, but then I didn't, and then they decide that they're going to do something else, and maybe the next one that comes up, which if there is another Corben book from Delirium, we'll see. Delirium had the license to do this in French, so they do not have the English license. That's why this book is only published by Delirium in French, because that's the license they have. But if you're a fan of Corben and you want to see that art, the book is gorgeous and amazing. I think that's about it for this month. We didn't talk about supporting the site. Oh man, as I said, this summer has been rough with affiliate links. Some low stuff. So first off, click a link, buy something through the site. eBay is great. That definitely helps. Amazon, wonderful. I still don't have a direct market affiliate link for North America. I'm not even sure if I ever will. So we'll have to see how that goes. I've added more A-Books links. So if you want to get it from the secondary market, the used market, same with eBay. And then, of course, Walt's Comic Shop is a supporter of the site. They're an advertiser. So that's wonderful. Please, if you're in Europe, order from Walt's Comic Shop. They're doing a great job on all this stuff. And they've sent me a book, and it was packaged beautifully. So I have complete confidence in that. I don't always have confidence in things. I ordered a book, an out-of-print book from France, and it shows up, and it's Canada Post. When your box or something is damaged, they put it in this plastic bag and they go, this is how we received it, And I'm like, I get the book in the mail. It's I don't know, it was like 125 euros cover price. I got it for 195 Canadian. It goes for 400 euros or so. It's actually it's out of printing quite expensive. So it's one of those Spirou books that are just really expensive. So I was thrilled to get it, but then I get it and the cover's really dinged on the top and bottom. So I'm like, do I return it? It's a good deal, or just is it one of those books with the pile, right? Anyway, supporting the site, also Patreon. I really got sidetracked there. You can sign up for Patreon and give whatever amount you want every month. I appreciate that greatly. And third way is to buy something from my store. I would really appreciate a sale from the store. If you're in the States and you're worried about what's going to happen, I don't ship Canada Post to USPS or even Pure Leader to USPS. I am doing UPS. So if you get hit with a tariff and it looks like tariffs are your new reality, if you're in the U.S. and you're ordering books outside of the U.S., at least UPS will handle that for you. So, all right, thank you, and we'll talk again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.